consists of 8 small islands of Quang Nam and forms the marine park. And it's also on the UNESCO's list of World Biosphere. As you can see, you have the ocean on my right side. Here in Cham Island, you have the sea, the beaches, and the beautiful hillsides. The main attraction here on Cham Island is the coral and marine life.
I and Hai came to the big island of Cham Island when the sun was scorching hot. The weather was quite favorable for our trip. The management board of Cham Island Marine Protection Area, or MPA, is designated as a marine protected area as it offers a diversity of ecological environment and marine landscapes. In particular, rich biodiversity of 165 hectares of coral reefs, 47 species of seaweeds, 4 species of seagrass, 66 kinds of mollusks living depends on the coral, 4 types of lobsters, and around 200 species of coral reef fish were recognized, in which 4 species was listed in the Red Book.
I'm here on Cù Lao Chàm Island, and although most people know about Cù Lao Chàm Island, they don't know about Cù Lao Chàm Protected Area. And I'm here today to follow the researchers to learn more about the environment and the sea life.
Luckily, I came to the island just when the researcher of the management board of the MPA and some other locals out to sea to do conservation and restoration work for the hard corals. They have done this since 2012.
Bây giờ các anh này sẽ đi xuống nước làm cái gì ạ anh?
Trong ngày hôm qua thì các anh em đi được phát hiện ra một số lượng lớn cái con bằng mai, tức là con điệp ấy, hiện nay là đang có nguy cơ bị cạn kiệt, và số bằng mai này được người dân ở địa phương khác người ta khai thác ở từ vùng biển khác để đem về đây bán cho du lịch. Thì anh này bây giờ anh lặn xuống biển để anh lấy con bằng mai đó lên để anh thả lại về biển về đúng cái vùng mà nó theo đặc tính sinh học của nó.
Okay.
Thì...
Okay. Good luck.
In marine protected areas in Cham Island, a wide range of marine life is banded exploiting, such as the Maxima clam, Caronia, and seaweeds in order to reduce pressure on ecosystems. During the restoration work on the hard corals, We went to the area with a large number of bang mai or scallops that were saved during patrols. Bang mai lives under the sand and eats impurities that clean the beach. For that reason, under pressures of tourism and development of marine ecosystem, bang mai exploitation is time limit banned.
Đây là một số cái con mà mình đi phục hồi lại thì mình sẽ cắm cái con này ở dưới đáy này.
Okay.
Thì đây là nó có một cái giống như là một cái rễ cây vậy. Cái rễ cây cắm vào thì nó sẽ bám vào ở dưới cái nền đất này và nó sẽ phát triển, nó sẽ sinh trưởng. Hôm trước thì bọn mình bắt được gần 2.000 con.
2.000 con nữa.
Bây giờ thì một số con mình sẽ cấy lại tại những cái vùng bảo vệ nghiêm ngặt của khu bảo tồn biển của Lô Chàm.
We got like a type of mussels, sort of, big ones that I understood were endangered, and that some fishermen like they fish it, but it's not allowed. So we took those up to put it somewhere else, which is secret, so that they can grow in numbers.
After being picked to shore, then classified, bang mai is brought back to sea and cultured in appropriate environment for its development with the cleaning effect for the surrounding marine areas. After rescuing work for the bang mai, we went to Hương Beach or Bãi Hương to get Sĩ on our boat, a trained local with good transplanting skill. Sĩ was born and raised in Cham Island and volunteered in Marine Protected Area Group in Bãi Hương village.
Ra bây giờ là hai anh thợ lặn sẽ xuống để đi tách cái san hô. Cái vùng này nó san hô tính nó rất là tốt để mình phục hồi tại cái vùng mà san hô đó có độ phủ nó thấp hơn.
Ok. Rồi mình sẽ để những cái này vặn xuống.
Mình tách san hô mình lên đây để mình bảo quản xong rồi mình sẽ di chuyển xuống ở một cái vùng khác. Và trong quá trình di chuyển thì mình mình cung cấp oxy và khí oxy vào cho san hô nó đảm bảo được cái sự sống.
Okay.
Following then, a staff from the MPA, I was guided to use the diving goggles and snorkel to see the coral reef in the transplanting area. Water in the Cham Island was so blue that I could see the bottom and the coral reef ecosystem with a wide variety of marine organisms that produce fishery resources for Cham Island. Scientists have discovered 200 species of coral. 6 of those were first recorded in Vietnam water. Hard corals are distributed in many areas in Cham Island. In recent years, hard corals tend to decline, greatly affecting marine ecosystems and fisheries resources. Thus, hard coral restoration in Cham Island is the best way to keep the home for marine species to live and reproduce. Besides implementing the project, the Marine Protected Area also conducts training programs for local people in diving and hard coral separation transplantation skills. There are more than 10 locals in Cham Islands attending for International Diving and Hard Coral Separation Transplantation Skills Certification. So far, some can dive to depth of 70 meters, while being expert in embryo splitting and hard coral nursery transplantation.
coral. There's a lot of fish around, small fishes, and a lot of like sea stars, and I don't know what it's called, but the things that grow on the corals. A lot of life going on there, but I think we're a bit too close to them. I could feel them on my feet sometimes, and yeah, so we didn't want to disturb them too much because they're protected. So it's just best to leave them alone. We're stood by the coral reef garden, and this is where they grow the coral reef and also where they plant the mussels that we saw earlier. They maintain it here, and then they also take some of the coral reef and then they take it to another spot where the coral reef is dying.
Currently, the scientists have taken 3 varieties of hard corals, which are Acropora, deerhorn coral, Monitopora leaves coral, and Passeric plate coral. These varieties have been taken to nursery areas in the west of Hon Tai and Rat Mè. The scientists record and monitor regularly the development of corals in the nursery areas for a long time.
Anh Sĩ, tại sao anh phải trồng san hô ở đây?
San hô là để phục lồi san hô để cho lũ cá để sinh sống.
Bắt đầu làm có khó không hay là ai dạy anh làm?
Rồi lần đầu tiên là mình cũng cộng đồng thì mình cũng tình nguyện nên là mình làm thì để cho cuộc sống cho người dân còn cái tạo sang xuống.
So now the divers are going to go down and plant the coral reef. I'm going to stay up here because they say it's quite dangerous to follow them down, and I'm just going to observe from the surface.
During transportation, hard corals are preserved in oxygen and seawater condition for good health and to ensure they cling tight onto the wreck and not to die during transplantation process. Once having enough varieties of hard corals, they study the transplanting areas to see what types of corals have grown well in there. Then, they proceed to transplant hard coral in recovery area. Our work follows the process of Nha Trang Oceanfront Free Institute. Coral transplantation takes a lot of effort. First of all, diver has to clean sediment and algae at the bottom, then set down the coral group, tie and name it to keep track. This task requires participants deep diving skilled and the ability to work underwater for a long time. 1 week after transplanting, they have to check whether the corals are yet eaten by the crown of thorn starfish or snails.
I think it's a very good thing because the research come and they do their research and then they leave. But the local residents are the ones that have to do it every day. I think 90% of the people that live here are fishermen. And yes, more and more become involved in tourism, but their main form of income is fishing. So to have them on board, I mean, you have to. If you don't have them on board, you can just forget about it because then Yeah, so yeah, it's a very good thing. They get them informed and involved. Now I will follow Anh Sĩ back to his village. He's a local resident here in this small village, and look at his daily life. Okay, bye bye. Come on.
Bãi Hương of Cham Island is a beautiful beach located in the southwest of Hòn Lao. Bãi Hương has more than 400 people living mainly by fishing. Especially, the village still preserved a traditional way of fishing since ancient times of Cham Island's people, which is using small boat for inshore fishing. Not so many people know that 100% of households in Bãi Hương village are volunteers in the village marine protection group. They are empowered by the MPA to manage a 19 square kilometers coastline. Bãi Hương village, I followed Sĩ and the patrol officials of Bãi Hương village marine protection group out to sea.
Nói với anh là nói chung là mình thỏa nè ra ngồi này, chứ không thỏa nè vô trong cũng cấm được, là mắc vô ngồi anh nói cái tả cái dây bù rồi, đoàn ngồi phía ra ngồi này chứ nè. Cái bạn chuyện đưa ra mình ra tới là ngang ngồi dưới.
They go in the mornings to see that the fishermen are fishing correctly and in the correct zone, because there are different zones, one for where they can fish and where they can drop their anchor, and one where the coral reefs are and where the fishes are. So just now we just sent a boat away because they were fishing in the wrong area. These ones are fishing in the right area, so that's okay.
According to the patrol guides, the management area is divided into 3 regions: the absolute prohibition region, fishing allowed region, and tourism region. In recent years, many fishermen from surrounding areas came here fishing using methods that can destroy the environment, including intense exploiting and using fluorescent light. Thus, in order to avoid the fishing and anchoring that affect coral ecosystem, the patrol team must work constantly to check out violated boats.
Đây là một chiếc thuyền của anh Bắc Băng và anh trai của con Bắc.
Following the patrol team, I had the chance to watch sunrise over the sea and the boaters' fishing activities atmosphere. And these great things come from the effort of the whole community in Cham Islands. Those are contributing to the protection work of marine ecosystem here.
Làm sao chú làm cái công việc này ở đây?
Nếu như họ vi phạm mà trong cái vùng lúa mà thả cái ne xuống thì nó mát xương hô lên, là nó hẳn xương hô đi. Thứ hai nữa là cái vì ngư dân đánh lưới trong cái vùng lúa mà vùng mà đương được phân vùng á thì nó hỏng hết cái xương hô dưới đó, cho nên cái phải có cái tổ tuần tra.
Những cái người mà trong của Lao Chàm ấy, bây giờ người ta biết người ta không đi câu cá ở chỗ mà không được đi câu cá, hay là người ta cứ đi câu?
thì hiện nay người dân họ giác ngộ, họ rất bảo vệ cái ngư trường và sinh vật dưới đáy biển. Đó là cái nguồn lợi sau này cho cái cộng đồng.
Người ta cũng đồng ý, người ta
đó là dân địa phương á.
Vâng.
Dân địa phương là họ biết, còn người dân nuôi địa phương là họ có thể là đi rừng đi mò ăn trộm á. Cứ mua địa phương á, họ có thể đi.
Mà người ở đây người ta hiểu, người ta biết.
Nói chung trong dân địa phương là
Dân này là họ biết rồi.
Nếu mà người ta đi lại.
Đúng rồi, không mình biết là họ nhiều lần.
Ok, hiểu.
Nhờ cái vị đó, nhờ cái vô tình biển, bộ tình biển mà ra đời. Thứ hai nữa có cái cộng lại là cái sinh viên thế giới, cho nên cái khách du lịch đến đây là 2 đến 3 ngàn lượt khách. Cho nên cái thành lập ra những cái tổ tuần tra này bảo vệ được cái nguồn xương hô. Cái người dân mà cấp dưới đấy là đánh.
There's so many tourists now coming to the island every single day. I think he said number like 3,000 tourists per day. And if each tourist just took with them a small piece of coral reef, after not long, there wouldn't be any coral reefs left. And they're really doing it to preserve their way of life. And he told me that before the tourists came, the life was pretty hard here on the island. So they do want the tourists to come, but they also want to maintain the sea life. They seem very well educated and informed about the job that they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it. I went around with the fishermen today, very, very early in the morning, and they do this to patrol the area so that they don't fish in the wrong areas, that they don't overfish and they don't take with them catch that they shouldn't be taking. And they're doing it on a voluntary basis, so they don't get paid for this. And these are local residents that are just looking out for themselves, their community, for the way of life that they've been doing it. Yeah, it's a tiny village, not a lot of houses. When you first come here, you see like that they really made an effort for the tourists, but I think you can also really get the feel of island life here. So yeah, it was quite interesting to see like how they live in this tiny community. But then they get like bombarded by tourists every day, but they still manage to live their lives as they've always been.
Along with managing the marine conservation, locals of Bãi Hương village has full control of tourism operation. Their effort of marine protection has contributed to the sustainable development of tourism in Cham Islands.
This is the end of my journey here on Cù Lao Chàm Island. I've spent a couple of nights here. I've spent time with the researchers, sometimes with the local residents, and I have to say this is a very beautiful place. And the work that the local people are trying to do is to preserve the coral reefs, their way of life. And thanks to them, the numbers of tourists are increasing every year. But I think what we have to take away from this is the fact that this is an untouched place. And when we visit it, we leave it behind the way we found it.
Không biết cái chuyện thấy ai.